And welcome back, everybody, to the channel. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media shell money-taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in YouTube entertainment today, Zod. And I'm cutting off the general part because, okay, so big announcement for you guys. This was a terrible segue, but a big announcement for you guys before I introduce my awesome guest and get into the show. I decided that I was going to start a Teespring because I want to start growing the channel and making it better for you guys. But I also want to make a deal with them to make some T-shirts and use it to do a charity towards one of the charities that Johnny Depp donates, because I think that that would just be a great way to not only, sell some merch, but also to help a good cause. So I'm going to be getting that up for you guys soon. And I got some clever Zod stuff that my manufacturing department is working on because I want to sound like official. Not really. It's my dad. But anyways, so I'm going to bring you guys more info about that, but I can't wait to get this started. So without further ado, this is my segment where I interview a cool and awesome content creator, and I've got the great, the mighty, the powerful voice of the masses, Come Geek Some. Welcome.
Hello. It's funny because everyone's like, "Oh, where are you? Where are you?" But this is what he does because it's the Fandom Zone, and obviously the Phantom Zone in the Superman films and Superman comics. You can't see what you're doing. So this is why it is. So just letting people in the chat know.
Yeah, hopefully
having me on is great.
Oh yeah, this is great. Hopefully you guys can see me now. I don't know what was going on with my camera. If you're still having problems seeing me, let me know. But anyways, I have Come Geek Some on, and in this segment, this is my segment I do called Fandom Talks, where I interview other YouTubers, and I want you guys to get to see the content creator, the creator behind the content, because a lot of times when we do these things, when we YouTube, people forget that we're just people. And I think that it helps to get to know your favorite content creator, how they got started, why they do what they do, so that you can get a better understanding of them. So I'm going to figure out my technical difficulties. I switched to my icon and see if people can see that.
They can see the icon, yeah. I can see it, yeah. So they should be able.
But while I figure that out, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm not too bad. Say, obviously, it's just gone 10 o'clock here in the UK. Like I was saying to you, it's a little bit later for me, obviously. But like I say, I've been having people ask me to go on their channels like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, yeah, I'm 35 now. I'm getting old. I need sleep, So it's like I go to bed 10:30, 11 o'clock, and say I gotta be up tomorrow morning at 5, which is going to be a nightmare because I haven't got up that early in a long time. But yeah, so it hasn't been a bad day. I haven't done nothing today, so it's been a nice chilled day. I've watched Silicon Valley all day.
Oh, that's a great show.
Yeah, see, it's I haven't seen season 6 of the last one because I was a bit gutted. They've ended it, and I was like, I'll give it a go, and I got 'em. I love it still, so I can still watch it over and over.
Okay, I can see now that my icon is coming up, so I think I'm just gonna stick with my icon for a bit until I can work the magic of YouTube. Gosh. Anyways, I guess my first question to you, and probably the one people will be most interested in, is how did you get started? Because we were talking a little bit offline, and I know that, like me and so many other people, you weren't doing Depp at first. No. You had other stuff. So how did you get started in building your channel? And then what drew you to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation?
Yeah, so, well, what it was 2000, and I believe it was 2019, early 2019 when I started. And I just did it off the offshoot. I was a bit bored, and I was working and everything else, but then I had some time off, and I was like, you know what, I'm a bit bored. And I just started. I had a mic, which is on my phone. That's how I started. And I just started speaking into the phone. Literally, there was no camera. And I started talking about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, things that interested me. Hence the name of the channel, Come Geek Some. And I took that from Duke Nukem. Obviously, the good
Yeah.
old come get some. So I was like, you know what? When I thought of that, I thought I was the dog's bollocks. I was like, that's amazing. And then when people would tell me, there's other channels called it, I was like, are you serious? And it was. But the channel's been dormant for a while. So I was like, yeah, I'll take over. But yeah, so I started all of that. And with anime, like I was saying, doing the Vic Mignogna situation where he was accused of doing inappropriate things to people, and then there was like no evidence, and the people who accused him said that they haven't spoken to him, they haven't seen him, all this kind of stuff, all this nonsense. But then the evidence came out, and the evidence was there was videos of the people who've accused him. They've accused other people, and there's videos and photos of them acting inappropriate to other people. And it's like, right, okay, certain things are not falling into place, and went through all of that. I'm still going on, sadly, because it was February of last year is when the appeals went in for him, but then obviously COVID happened. And it's been
Yep.
stalemate and just dormant ever since. They're literally, they're like, yeah, we're shutting this down. And it's gone on now for nearly a year, just being locked up and not being done. And so throughout the year, I did carry on with other things. Obviously, there was still carried on with like Star Wars and bits and bobs of Marvel here and there. Then I started doing Doctor Disrespect. Obviously, there was a huge thing with when he got banned from Twitch. Obviously, over certain allegations and then things coming out saying no one knew what was going on. Then you had the Twitch Trust Party. I can't remember what they were called, but it's where one of the girls was acting like a deer and
Uh,
yeah, all this kind of stuff. And obviously, that was all there. And then I covered Johnny Depp very sporadically. It was like a video here and there, one much. And then it was later towards the summer when all this was happening. And I read something online, and then someone got in touch with me and said, why don't you try and look and do a video on this? And I was like, well, I already have, but nothing's coming out. Then obviously all the transcripts are coming out, what was going on in court, the evidence, which was the huge turning point. And then I was like, right, okay. As I got more and more invested in it. But like I was saying to you as well, it's kind of sad because on YouTube, obviously, you have to go where the views are. And I was like, right, first of all, started doing it, but then gradually got more and more into it. Then I was learning the ins and outs of the courts here in the UK. And I was like, wow, okay, this is getting a little bit serious now. And like I say, I was just looking into the courts. I was reading any kind of court document I could. I was reading things online regarding the courts, how they act. And it really fascinated me. But then all of a sudden, I started finding myself, I was watching a lot more police procedure, TV shows and all this, even though I love cops and all that kind of stuff. And I just got a lot more invested in it. But then all of a sudden, like I was saying to Les yesterday, I'm not a huge Johnny Depp fan. It's for me, this is more about getting the man justice. And it's like, how can someone with his actual evidence stating that the other person is the abuser, but they go for her instead of him? And then go from there, say, you, Les, Stevie, Shelby, everyone involved, say, well, me and Tug, we used to talk regarding the anime days. And we just came over and we're talking with everyone. And all of us just got a lot more invested. I think it hit us all more deeply and personally than any of us actually thought it would. Like I was saying, it's YouTube, this, that, and the other. You think, right, okay, here we are. This is going to get us a few views or whatever. It'll help the channel out. But then we all got really deeply connected into it. And then we started talking to people on camera, off camera, real victims, real survivors. And it's like, wow, this person needs to be stopped. And it's sad to say, that why should people like us be pointing all the flaws out to people? Not just me on camera and all that, but everyone in Twitter, everyone in the chat, everyone who has seen that this person is a horrible woman. Why have we all got to be doing it But then obviously the mainstream media, and it's like, that's why. Mainstream media is so shit. And all they
Oh yeah.
care about is, right, a woman's been hurt. We have to go for her. And like we were talking about Roberta Kaplan, and we are like, she set up the GoFundMe money chest and all this kind of stuff. But then she's defended the guy who that was going against. That just completely blew my mind. It was almost like she was opening a GoFundMe just for herself. It's like, oh, I'll have that. It just blew my mind. And just seeing how bad that Johnny Depp and certain other victims of DV have come out in the press on Twitter. They're writing articles now on Medium and all these other places, WordPress. And it's just lovely to see that this has made people now come forward a lot more because they're like, this is wrong.
And it's funny you should mention that because I come from the Star Wars end of things, Last Jedi and all of that. And what struck me was that the treatment that all of you fine people in the chat get, the treatment that people get for coming out for this thing was the same exact treatment we got for saying we disliked the film. What originally drew me was I've done a lot with Stevie. He's a part of our Fandom Bridge crew. It's like a separate chat, and we did a review together. And then he was telling me he's following this Johnny Depp case, and I was like, I've heard about it. And then I started digging into it, and I did a video, and some people liked it. I got into the community, and I started realizing that this thing that we're doing is not just about Johnny Depp, but there's so much more deeper that the media has been pushing this Me Too narrative going on years now, since 2015.
God. That's right.
2016. Started with Ghostbusters and that whole push. Like, if you don't like this film, then obviously you're a part of the problem.
And it's like, the film is shit. Why? It's not that it's them, because out of them all, I can't remember her name, but the blonde one, not Kristen Wiig, the other one, the one who's doing the Egon character. I absolutely love her to bit, and I think she was amazing in that film. She was the only saving grace of it. But again, it's just because we don't like a film, we're called misogynistic and we hate women, and you hate everything else. It's like, whoa! It's like, where are they getting that from? It's like they're adding 2 + 2 and coming up with 17, and it just doesn't make sense.
And come geek some. Jana Davis says, my mom taught me that all it takes for evil to triumph is for good people to stand by and do nothing. That is so true.
That's very true, Janie. Very true.
When you sit back on the sidelines, when you have a platform and you're not using it to voice your opinion, and it's the problem we have. And see, this is another thing that struck me about this fight with Depp, and why I decided to throw my hat in. You guys can't see. I don't know why my camera's black today for some reason, but why I threw my hat into the ring for this is because I felt like this was the first time I'd seen a celebrity accused and willing to literally possibly lose all of their money, but in the pursuit of proving that they are innocent. And here's the thing: if you're innocent, you don't have to you don't have to say, oh, I'm innocent. It's your actions. If you stand by and just let people say these things about you and you say nothing back, to me, that signifies on some level you feel like you're guilty.
Yes.
But if you're fighting as hard as Depp is fighting, I'm like, this guy's got to be innocent, because no one's going to throw away this much money, risk getting blackballed by Hollywood.
The amount of stuff this guy is fighting is crazy. That's a perfect example, to be honest with you, Zod, because literally it's okay, fair enough. He's not worth as much as he was, but even if he still was, when you got this kind of thing, you just throw money at it, basically a bit like how the whole Michael Jackson situation was, out of court will settle, but then it's like, well, if he's guilty, why is he going to court? Why is he the one who's
Yeah.
coming after you and saying, well, I got all this evidence? Because if you do that, and obviously they were trying to say that he's trying to silence her, weren't they? And they're like, oh, he's trying to silence free speech for her. And he's only planting all these stories. It's like, no, the guy is innocent. He wants to clear his name. He doesn't want people going around thinking what you said is true. So obviously, he's going to fight tooth and nail. And, like I said, he's got all that money. He could have just made it go away like that, But for some unknown reason, the judge, and well, here in the UK anyway, Judge Nicol or Neckel, whatever you want to call him, he decided to go with NGN. And it's like, what? They didn't even answer any of his questions regarding the did you do any investigating and all that kind of stuff. And they were like, oh no, we spoke to a person or two and that was it. And he credited it's like, what? Obviously that was a whole gold digger thing. But yeah, it is. It's when you see someone who has been accused, and this day and age, which is the worst thing, is that all the people in the media's eyes, on Twitter, social media, you name it, if it's a man, they're automatically guilty until proven innocent. But if it's a woman, innocent until proven guilty of her type, the ones who have the money, the power, the high-powered friends, and it's just sad to see.
Yeah, and what's amazing about this whole thing? What struck me is what you said, and I don't know. I know you've done more digging into UK law than me per se, but I know that there are certain things I feel like in the law is universal. It universally translates no matter what version you have, right?
Across the pond, yeah.
This guy had so much conflict of interest, and as far as I know, that's still a thing, right? And right off the jump, he should not have been proceeding over that trial, which I talked on Rob's Rules channel about. I go, the very first thing that struck me about this is that due to his personal, and here's the key word, people, personal ties to the defendants, as someone who supposedly upholds the law, you are supposed to do the right thing and be like, hey guys, you know what? I can't judge this case because I have
step away from it.
I have a vested interest, so I need to step back, and I'm going to let somebody else, so that this man gets a fair and impartial trial, I'm going to let someone else rule on this, and we'll reschedule. But he didn't do that. And there were so many red flags. I mean, but that's just from the jump. And then you get his reasoning, right? The whole gold digger thing. And then I did a video on it. And come to find out, the lawyer sunk their own defense because she said Amber Heard has yet to donate. Now, in the UK statement, he said his reasoning for not calling her a gold digger is because she donated $7 million.
$7 million.
I mean, so here's your problem now. How does this not get overturned? Because it's in his legal transcript. I mean, you're more into that. Is this this feels huge to me. Is this like a big thing that could overturn this thing?
It can. It's one of the main things with it is because it can be classed the same as in Australia with the lying under oath. And obviously under oath, class as perjury, here in the UK is 7 years. And this can now be brought up. Obviously, with the way that they've gone in with the appeal. And it took a while, obviously, for them to, we're going in with the appeal. And we found that out in December that they actually did hand over the documentation for the appeal. And with that, I can't remember Nick Wallace. They were saying, right, this is what's gone on. The judge has been incompetent. He can't, he hasn't looked at this. He hasn't looked at that. He hasn't looked at the overall evidence. And obviously, Johnny's team asked for a retrial. And obviously, all this has come out now. The letters from the Children's Hospital stating she hasn't paid us. But then you got the lawyer sticking up and cleaning up after us, saying, actually, she is going to donate. This can bite her in the ass in the UK trial. Because fingers crossed, because do you watch Lost Beyond Pluto?
Yes, I have. It's
video yesterday. And the video she put out yesterday is all about the lying and everything else, or what she's done. And this is where I get most of my legal jargon from, is because obviously I'm just a normal simpleton. I'm like, but I'm looking. It's just, that's it. I'm like, right, I can figure this out for myself. I can use all the big technical terms. And I watched it and I was like, wow. And she was saying that this could harm the appeal for NGN because Johnny Depp's team could go forward. The 3 judges who overlook the appeal can look at it and be like, right, okay, she has lied. She hasn't donated. Why should we now accept this? And this is the appeal. Hopefully, if it does go through and it can be a retrial, which would be it would be crazy. And if it does go to a retrial, I don't think it'd be Judge Nicol because he was meant to retire May or June of this year anyway. And if all this goes to a retrial and he's there and he's like, yeah, she lied to me. I fell for it or whatever, or anything come out about it. And he could be like, oh, I'm going to retire early. But Lost Beyond Pluto, she also said about that this could be a very huge greatness for the Virginia case as well, which I'm very excited to see.
Oh, yeah. I think, and just going by what the judge has come out and said, U.S. judges are different, man, and you could tell without seeing his face or anything else like that he's tired of her shit. And
I don't care about any of it. I don't care if you've earned billions or whatever. This is it. This is the law. And like say, obviously, when Adam got chucked off the case, obviously we were all a bit like, what the hell? All of us were. But then it was like, I'm not going to gag him, though. And I think that's when her and her team, I think they kind of went, oh shit, and started shitting it. Because obviously, no gagging order. And now all of a sudden, every single day since New Year's Day, he's just dropping all these little bits of golden nuggets on Twitter. And everyone is seeing it now. And obviously, the biggest one of it all is the Children's Hospital letter. 2019.
You know what? I'm going to say, at first, Adam not being on the team seems like a shocker, but I think this was a brilliant strategy. And people, bear with me. I'm going to put on my tinfoil cowboy hat. But
if you say that this was done on purpose so he could feed the info to the people, I'm with you because I thought of that and I told Stevie last year.
Yep. I think that because think about it, if he's part of the legal team, then he's got to go through the courts legally. It's exhibits. When you put something into court, Exhibit A, Exhibit B, it can't be tampered with, which means that if you're a lawyer, you have to preserve the evidence. You can't release it to the public until the day of the trial. However, if you were once on the legal team and you're no longer a part of the legal team, then it's not a conflict of interest.
You're not. But yeah,
I do my own research.
No, it's like me and Stevie, we talked about it last year when it happened, and we were like, "Oh, wouldn't it be amazing if this happens?" And we just kind of started thinking it all the time then, and it got to the point where we were like, "Oh my god, we just need Alex Jones now to confirm it, and that would be it." You're like, "Oh god, imagine if Alex Jones not involved in this." And he was all against Amber. It would be the greatest show ever.
The facts are turning gay and Amber Heard is guilty.
Oh my god, this is her fault. I'm retarded. It would be amazing, seriously. But yeah, it is like saying in the chat now, it is a long game, Shally. She is right. He was playing the long game, no doubt about it. Because not being gagged, and I think because they fought so hard for that as well, when he said, oh, no, there's no gagging order, they were going, no, Judge, you need to do it. And I was like, why? What are you scared of? Man, obviously, they realized...
Jana Davis, I do an Australian accent, but Stevie said the next time I do it, he'll have to show me a proper knife.
No, right, yeah. When you've shit the bed, that is, it's literally, when you've shit the bed, you've literally ruined something, yeah. It's like obviously here in the UK, the dog's bollocks is amazing, and if you just say bollocks, it's like, God, you messed something up, have you? It's like, yeah.
Man, you know what? Sometimes I get so jealous because, like, when I got you guys on from different places, I just feel like I got people say I got slang. I came from New York, so there's still some of that accent there, but it's like I get you guys on, and I'm just like, man, if only I could do some. Like, I'm Irish and Puerto Rican, and I could do a little bit of an Irish accent, but I'm not really good with it. So it's like, what am I going to do? I need a cowboy hat because I don't have nothing really to contend with. I mean,
Oh my god.
so
Oh.
jumping back into this because now I guess we're just gonna get into this whole Amber Heard thing and kind of kick back some ideas. But I was saying the biggest thing for me, yeah, Rob, New York.
New York.
Man, that was pretty good.
Yeah, New York. Again, the British are always good at doing accents. Look at the films.
Oh, I know.
Come on. But I mean, and Anthony Hopkins were only down the road from me. That's where they were born.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Hopkins
is about 12 miles away, so not far.
Dude,
the British have got some of the best actors ever.
Ah, man, you know what? I'm just saying, if you guys are neighbors, tell them Zod would always love to have them come out and throw down their accents. We love accents here on the channel.
One thing that always got me when I was growing up is that, for some unknown reason, they always chose British actors to play the bad guy, no matter what the film was. And I was like, you know what? Do they see do people see the Brits as angry people? I see the English like it now and again, but with the Welsh, we just don't give a shit. We're like, yeah, whatever. But
and you know what? Thankfully, someone corrected me before I had you on. I go, I got my buddy from the UK. Go UK, and they're like, he's Welsh, right? And I go, well, what's the difference?
Oh yeah, that's a bit of a
and then
they said,
and they said, oh, don't say that. And I was like, oh, I mean, because I understand. See, I'm Puerto Rican, and people don't know. But if you confuse Puerto Ricans and Mexicans, it's a big thing. We get very offended because it's two very different places geographically. Even our Spanish is slang technically, so some of the stuff we pronunciate is differently, right? And so
it's okay, when I Gary, I'm not talking about you. Watch yourself there, love. That's proper English there, that is. Watch yourself, love.
But see, that's the great thing about this community, and I wanted to get into this a little bit before we dive more into Depp and Heard. Isn't this community just great, man? Like, we've had so many people come together. I think that's the most amazing thing to me is I've met so many kind, wonderful people I would have never known doing this. How do you feel about
it? It's with Les yesterday, because again, obviously it went on for a little bit longer than we planned yesterday, and even after we finished the stream, we were still talking for like nearly half hour, and we were like, and she was like, I gotta go, and she completely lost track of time. But it is through all of this, I would never have met you, Stevie, Rob, Shelby, Les, everyone. It's excuse me, even in the chat, we got Horia Peter, we got Janie, we got Caroline, Sunshine, Kafka, everyone, Cherry, you name it. Everyone is just supporting each other, which is amazing. And I have met so many great people, and I class everyone as a friend, and with this now, it's like, you know what? This has just been fantastic. And it's very rare because a lot of communities on YouTube, they go very toxic.
I got a great example, actually, and I don't want to point out too many people, but I was once part of a group, we'll say, that is strongly against Star Wars, and if you follow them, they have a tag you all would know that has a menace at the end of it. And that was a great group, and I do talk to some people from there. I'm friends with a couple of them, but it was a good example of how a community can kind of lose its way in the initial
Yes.
argument and what you're trying to be about. And Dolan, I just wanted to say hey to you, buddy, because he's awesome and supports
Oh,
everyone
Donald
in the
is
chat
just
so much.
fantastic, and so's Rob. Everyone, everyone's amazing. Like I saw in the chat as well about getting Rob in a live stream with me and you, and I would happily do that in the future because
Oh,
Rob's awesome.
I
I
would
love
love
Rob.
to do.
Yeah, but
Rob is the nicest guy I've ever met. Like, I'm angry a lot. I think that's my thing. And I'm on Rob's stream and I just start opening up about stuff and talking about my life. And I'm just like, this guy's got some like magic. He's always positive, man.
always, always. And they say it's just
So,
great. Like I say, I first spoke to Rob properly when we did the live stream with Stevie for his charity donations on the 20th of December. And I was just like, oh my God, everyone here is just amazing. Because it was the first time speaking to a lot of them, but even though we're not together, but actually speaking to them instead of just through Twitter and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my God, everyone is just so much cooler than I thought. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta get better.
and if you don't know, my whole thing is hold on, I got a banner for it. Uh, I've got a bunch of banners that I do for fun. Yeah, this is one of my favorite ones.
Kneel before God all the time. Gotta be there.
Yeah, but in case you guys don't know, I'm going to be doing Teespring, and I couldn't use General Zod because Warner Bros are a bunch of dicks and
Yeah.
they'll copyright it and sue me. So I decided to do some Zod says, and I got a new mug that I'm going to be announcing tomorrow, but it's going to say Zod says JD is innocent. So I'm gonna have those out in a couple of face masks and things like that. And what I really want to do with this is I want to eventually some money and uh, talk to Teespring and do you can do like a charity thing. I want to
Yeah.
create a T-shirt that'll specifically go to a charity that Johnny uses, Children's Hospital, something like that. One of the charities he goes through, so that way, in some
It
small
goes
way, I
straight
can
to
give
it. Yeah.
back.
You can help back. Yeah. It is. It's when you try and say, obviously, because at this moment in time, we've seen about the talk regarding um, everyone getting together and doing another donation for something. And again, you've had people saying about, oh, don't give it to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles because obviously the way they've done dirty on Johnny and stuff. And my thinking on that is like, again, that's kind of it's not as bad as what she's done, but it's like you can't deprive the kids because they went against Johnny Depp. It won the kids, you know? And I see that. I was like, well, it's a children's hospital, you know? If you want to choose Children's Hospital LA, do it. Or if you want to do Gosh here in the UK, Great Ormond Street, do that one. But there's plenty of places we can try and get stuff done. And I just saw all that on Twitter and I was like, yeah, it's like, guys, it's not exactly a good thing saying you're not going to give money to a children's hospital because that's what she's done. She hasn't given it. And I was just like, oh, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. But I've said it now on stream as well. So instead of going from my head into Twitter, it's gone live. But
Which
that's
is
what I think about that.
I've always taken a different route at times, an unpopular opinion, and here on my channel, like at least until I guess I get monetized and I have to watch what I say. I believe in letting my guests and letting people come on say what they have to say because my whole feeling is this: the media has gotten out of control with editing us, with censoring us, with censoring chats. And here on my channel, I wanted a place where people can gather together. And if they keep it reasonable, they can shoot the shit with each other in the chat, or like you and me shooting the shit, talking about different
Yeah,
things. We can do that because people want a place they can go where they don't feel marginalized and made to feel less than because you got some Amber weirdos or some other weirdos who are like, oh, you're so
yeah.
sexist. And you know what? You don't even know these people.
Yeah.
you
It's
know?
at this moment, this whole thing with a couple of Amber Heard's fans on Twitter. Have you seen that with the like someone was going to dox someone and all this kind of stuff. And I haven't seen much of it today on Twitter because I haven't been on it. And I've just had a few glimpses, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Because you got people saying, "Oh, why is this person going to dox someone if they're meant to be a Johnny Depp fan?" But then there was a Medium article which was just complete horseshit, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And like you were saying, it's people like that, the ones who are Amber Heard fans or whatever, or they're literally just against Johnny Depp because he's been accused of something by someone, and say again, no criminal charges, no investigation, nothing. So you've just had someone say something. And you're right. Why should people be censored? Again, it's going back to the whole like free speech thing. And obviously Donald Duck, I want to say Donald Trump. I don't know why I Donald Duck and but he obviously banned off Twitter. And again, everything he said, I was like, whatever. But in my eyes, they should never have got rid of him off Twitter, because that's going to enforce so many other people to think, oh, look, they said this was going to happen. And then obviously you had all the big tech giants saying, we're getting rid of so-and-so, we're doing this, we're doing that. And then you had George Jeremy from The Quartering.
Yep, I know the quartering.
Have you listened to the video regarding Firefox, Mozilla?
No, I didn't. What's going on there?
It was yesterday, it was, and with Mozilla Firefox, he was like, this is it now, we're getting rid of it. But what they've actually done, they were going on about that they're all for free speech, for internet freedom and all this, because again, with Mozilla Firefox, that's one of the key websites to use to get on the Tor network and stuff. But what they've done, they've gone out there and they've said, we don't think this is right. We demand more censorship. And everyone was like, what? How can the person, well, a company whose key goal is to give you, well, basically make you anonymous online if you want to go on the black web or whatever, and they're like, oh no, we need more censorship. How can you do that? But again, no, that shows regarding the whole censorship issue. I don't like censorship, never have done. It first started with me when watching films as a kid, with action films and all that. And here in the UK, a lot of films got censored. And now, obviously, that's all kind of died away. But then all of a sudden, the media, they've jumped onto it. And they've just gone, yeah, I don't like what that person is saying. Ban them or demonetize them or something like that, And it's not nice, because it's like you say, it's censoring someone what they think. And if you don't go around or don't say what they think that you should say, you will automatically be cast out, It's, oh, you're going to be cancelled and all this kind of shit. And yesterday, I put the video out last night regarding Inside the Magic, where there's one girl, she actually said Johnny Depp's been found guilty and is criminally convicted. And I put that out there, and I was like, well, no, this is wrong. And obviously went through all of it. And that was demonetized. I put it through for a human review. As soon as I pressed request review, it came back within 5 minutes. Yeah, human review. And I was like, nah, the video's like 10 minutes long. 5 minutes later, you haven't watched all the video, And in it is because I talk about it. I say, now, Amber Heard, what she said is a lie. And I say about DV and all the words which they've deemed bad. Like, you can't say this, you can't say that, because obviously a lot of us, we say AH or whatever, because for some unknown reason, people at YouTube, they're defending her. But again, no, it's kind of like the Spotify situation with Joe Rogan,
Yep.
It's censoring people, and it shouldn't be around. Let someone have whatever they want to say. It's not their fault if other people take it and twist it and do something completely different. And that's what
if anything proved in the UK is that their argument is so double standard, because when you have a paper that's, and let's be real, that argument was not Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. That was the UK's paper versus Johnny Depp. And
Yeah,
everyone lost focus of what that case was, which was the case was whether or not they slandered him.
this is it.
Yeah, without any proof or any evidence or any facts to base their claims. You can say allegedly, but in that article, and I read the article, they don't use allegedly. They
No,
put a label on him that was not true or
good
based in
old Mr.
facts.
Putin.
Yep. And,
It,
and so
it's terrible.
so the media can go and they can basically label us, right? And not have repercussions. But if you and me, some little YouTubers in the YouTube verse, go
Exactly.
and say, Amber Heard did this, go ahead, come after me, YouTube. I'm not big enough. Anyways, so it says, Amber Heard did this. Oh my God,
It is. It's
we said
absolutely
a
terrible.
word. It's bullshit double standards.
It's like I say, one of the biggest things that I've taken away from the UK court case as well, which is that obviously because the judge he sided with NGN, that gave free rein to all the media. We can call him whatever we want, and with that, they were like, "Is he really going to come and sue us? Because we'll just prove the same thing that they did." You know? And with that, that's what pissed me off because after that one, you had tons of newspapers, websites, media, Johnny Depp, found guilty or whatever. Yes, he is a wife beater and all this shit. And again, these papers, they know exactly what they're writing because obviously they want to get the clicks in. And it's just sad to see that the media, how they attacked him from going from literally, this guy is the nicest guy in the world. And the Sun and the Daily Mirror, they always used to print photos of Johnny Depp visiting the Great Ormond Street Hospital here in the UK. Always done because they were like, look how nice this man is. Look how great he is. Johnny Depp giving back to the community and all that kind of stuff. And that was actually when I first saw a story regarding Johnny Depp having his Pirates of the Caribbean outfit. He always got the interview. Only a quick little interview, but it was they were like, "Oh, why are you here?" He's like, "Oh, whenever I'm in London and I always got my Captain Jack outfit, I always come here and I always spend the afternoon with the kids." And I was like, "That is amazing." But they
And before we
didn't.
continue, I wanted to get to Jamie Vick. And if you guys don't know in the chat, show Jamie Vick love because she's been here with me when just 5 people watching, and she was one of 5 people. So she says, the fact is that there are many YouTube channels. You can go a lifetime without
Mhm.
having to see channels that you don't like or disagree with. Exactly. And
Oh yeah,
that brings up a great point because, if you don't see, here's the thing. If you're a YouTuber and you have a personality, and obviously me and you have strong personalities, right?
yeah.
And we're in an
Well,
acquired
I
taste.
need to look at me.
If we have a base that we talk to, right? And we say certain things, in my mind, as long as you're not saying I wish someone was dead or
Mm.
I hate someone or you're urging your audience to go harass someone,
Oh,
right? Because I watched the Umbrella Guy's video when he was talking about the terms of what is considered you know libel for the internet thing that Amber Heard brought up because she's an idiot.
yeah,
Um, and when he was breaking it down, and I'm like, yeah, as long as you're not threatening anyone or stuff like that, you should be able to have an opinion and state the opinion because the media is always going to tell you their opinion, and we have no choice but to be bombarded every
exactly.
day by 50 bullshit articles that are either they take bits from other people or they interject their own political and philosophical beliefs. And the sad part is, I'm sure because we're about the same age, when I was a kid, you were a kid, you used to go to the store, or maybe your dad would, and you go and you pick up a paper. And that
All the
used to
time.
be the
Yeah,
news, man. Yeah, they used to have facts, and they wouldn't always give you their source because it was a dangerous topic, but they tell
very.
you in source. And now these new little snowflakes. Sorry if anyone gets offended by that word, but that's what they are. These new
Oh
little
yeah,
snowflakes come out, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta be sensitive of everyone's feelings. So now, we shouldn't lean this way. We
we're gonna
shouldn't go
cancel
and get
you
the
if you
truth.
upset me.
We're gonna get our warriors on the keypads and start uh, hashtag cancel this one and cancel that one." And it's the reason why we got oh, Rob, I'm sorry, buddy,
I can see,
I
man.
didn't see
Rob's going
you.
nuts.
I'm
And there's you calling
sorry,
him all.
man.
He's just so positive. There's him. Where's my wrench?
Oh, hold on. Let me switch back through the chat. And yeah, whilst I'm doing that, let me know what you think of the media
It's exactly
nonsense.
what you're saying. It's like say when I used to when I left school and I started work, and I'd go buy a paper. I would, and it was back then. I used to read. I used to buy the Mirror. My mate used to buy the Sun, and everyone else. Literally, we'd be different papers, and we'd read through them. And what you're saying about each like paper using someone else's or whatever, that's exactly true back then as well. Like, oh, well, I read this, and it's, oh, so and so has said this, and then it'll say, like it is today, oh, according to the Daily Mail or according to the Hollywood Reporter. They're only recent examples because obviously we saw that with the Hollywood Reporter hit piece on Johnny Depp. And then you had the Daily Fail the other day saying Amber Heard hasn't paid. All of a sudden, all these other places, they're using everything that the Daily Fail said in their article, in theirs, but it's halfway or to the end. They're still filling it with, oh, well, Johnny Depp done this, Johnny Depp done this. And the title and the headline is always something atrocious towards Depp. It's Depp's fault this has happened or it's that happened. And reading the paper when I was younger, we always thought, oh, it's in the paper, has to be true. It's same as the old news TV, because I'll always remember my mother and father used to say to me, don't believe everything you see on TV, you know? And now, and I got to tell my mum and my dad, I say to my sisters, oh, my sister is 38. I'm like, don't believe everything you see online. Because it's exactly how it was with the news and the newspapers. And with the newspapers just cramming it in everyone's face, because obviously I don't know if what the papers are like in America, but obviously over here with the Sun, Daily Mail, whatever, the front page is always like a splash page, and it's like big, bold, very sometimes annoying headlines. Are they like that in the States, or is that just like a gossip rag?
Yeah, it's pretty much uh, it's very loosely entertainment news. And here in the States, anyone who puts the entertainment in front of the news, I take naturally with a grain of salt.
Hmm.
Although I am going to do an interesting video because in Canada, their entertainment came out and they had the story about the charity. And I wanted to point
Oh,
out you had two guys. Yeah, you had two guys, and one of them clearly is still trying to kind of give some shine to Amber. And then you got this Asian guy on there, and he was awesome. He had this look of disgust on his face as he's talking about it. And
yeah.
when you have those guys who are starting to turn on you, which is what I wanted to talk to you about, because I've noticed the media is not covering for her as much as they were in the beginning. Have you noticed
No,
that?
I have. It's the way I think that's going on is because of the Children's Hospital letter, nothing else. Because they didn't turn or start supporting him when the actual evidence came out, the tapes and everything. And those tapes are damning. If me or you had those kind of tapes and it was our voice, we're automatically guilty. We're being arrested. We're being thrown in jail or something, We're automatically being classed as guilty. So why hasn't that happened to her? But then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, now, oh, a children's charity has said she hasn't paid us. Maybe she is a liar. And it's like, that's what made you actually start thinking. It's just sad to see, but it is good to see that little by little now, the media is starting to turn. And I was saying it to Les yesterday. Out of all the papers to start doing it, the Daily Fail. I was just like, wow, this shit rag is here now, calling everyone out and saying, guys, she hasn't done it. Look, here's the letter. Just like, slamming the letter against the door or something and saying, look, she hasn't done it. She hasn't done it. And it's like, oh, there we go. There's our new story. Amber Heard hasn't donated, and everyone now is just starting to slowly look towards Johnny and like, oh, maybe you are innocent. It's going to be very interesting to see how all of this now pans out because that
Oh,
letter is going to be so big.
oh yeah, like it's funny too because in and I said the title of my video, lawyer makes stupid comment because I know you can't name call on here, but
Nah,
I roundabout did it, and I was like, it's hilarious because you should have gotten Saul. Anyone who watched Breaking Bad, you'll get that joke.
yeah.
Because you need a lawyer like that because your lawyers you have are terrible. This
Oh, it's
lady
so bad.
has come out and sunk her so bad with that statement. That was the worst. Like, I was like, tell Amber Heard to shut up. Now I'm like, tell Amber Heard's lawyers to shut
Yeah.
up.
I wonder why he said those words. I really don't. It's like, I want to know who told him or advised him to say those words, especially to the press. It's like, really? That's how you want to play this? Because I would have been a little bit more right. Okay, I'm going to stand back. I'm going to assess the area or basically the nuclear warhead that went off. And I'm going to gather my thoughts. I'm going to go back to my chambers. I'm going to speak to the council and be like, guys, this has now come out. We need to speak to her. Did she lie to us? And then go forward. Because if if it comes out, obviously after all this is done, which I think it may do, is that they're going to be like, yeah, we're going to save our own ass. Yeah, she lied to us. And she did. She told us she donated like she told everyone else. That's what I think is going to happen at the end of it. And that's going to get the lawyers to back off a little bit from the public flagging them because they're going to be like, hey, guys, no, that she lied to us too. Take it out on her. You know, just
Margot
passing the
said,
buck.
Margot said, nah, let them talk.
Yeah, 100% let them talk. But I would have been like, again, because obviously we don't know how much they're being paid. And I would assume it's a pretty penny. So I'd be like, right, okay, stand back. I'm going to earn my check today. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be like, yeah, this is what's going on, guys. But then all of a sudden, it's like, shit, Children's Hospital have thrown her under the bus. What do we do? And I think they panicked. That's why the guy came out and was like, she is going to do it eventually, but, Johnny Depp sued her. And it was just like, what? Because everyone, even before all the videos came out and we all started looking into it, everyone was like, but that was over a year later. A year later, she had all that money for a year before she'd even done anything. So that is the part that it was like, do we really believe what she tells her own lawyers now? And I think she lied to him. But I can see to say Janie's like, they knew this was coming. Maybe it was their prepared statement. I think it was a thrown together statement. I really do. Because, again, it was almost like, quick, get the blame off first. Let's put on someone else. If it was a prepared statement, I think it would have been a little bit more better. It would have been a bit more coherent and they would have used other words, basically, in my eyes, instead of saying, yeah, Johnny Depp sued us. So that's why she hasn't given any money away. It was almost like that a child has been caught out in school and for cheating or something. And the headmaster's like, what's happened? Johnny Depp was taking me over. It's just literally automatic pass the buck. And again, they tried to, and everyone's like, yeah, we're not buying that now, mate. We're not buying that, but it's just
And you know
crazy.
what I found fascinating? Did you hear this? Because this came from Perez Hilton, who I have respect for because he came out and actually apologized after the tapes came out and said, "Hey,
Yes, I saw that.
yeah, I was wrong. Clearly, Depp is innocent." Well, he did some digging and he found out that in a statement made by Depp himself, and it was between lawyer and Depp.
Mhm.
Depp had communications with the lawyer, and he gave the 100,000 that
That's right.
she,
Yeah,
her
the first
lawyer
one.
came out and said. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the lawyer said that she gave the 100K. So Johnny Depp
Actually did. Yeah.
initially gave the 100K. So riddle me this: if the 100K she was claiming to have given was all she gave, and that wasn't even true, how much did she
She's
really
given
give?
nothing. Yeah, it's just crazy, and obviously now all we've had all the Vanguard, Capital, and all those checks being shown, and everyone now is just like, why are they? Yeah, I could just see them now. Pictures. It's like wherever they are. I wonder if they use like Zoom or Skype or whatever. They're all just there and they're just pulling their hair out, and Amber's just sat there like, yeah, I lied. And and then and they're like, "Well, why have you done this? What we gotta do?" And again, though, she could be again just the narcissist she is. I had you all fooled, though, didn't I? See, I'm a good actress. And you'd be like, "What?" I could just see that in my mind. I don't know why. Again, I just think it's because I don't think she's a great actress, and she puts her foot in her mouth all the time, and I could just see that playing out that she really is that dumb. And with all of this that has happened, it's almost like she thought she was going to get away with it, you know? I'll just say this, everyone will believe me because I'm a woman. And again, it's, the whole Me Too movement. She's a Hollywood actress, and she probably saw all of them, and it was just like, yeah. So her, they all blamed Harvey Weinstein. If I say Johnny Depp did it to me, they'll believe me as well. That's what I personally think happened. And then it was like, "Ooh, I'll get his lawyer of all things." That still just
And
blows.
I wanted to point this out because Donald, we were just talking about this, and I think I'm
Yeah,
going to shoot a video where you guys can watch me along. Yeah, I did see the Entertainment Canada segment, and yeah, they pointed out, and you could see in this segment that I was shocked. There's still a good journalistic guy there because he has and I'm going to pause it too on his face when he talks about it. He has such a disgusted look. It's like, okay, I was behind Amber Heard because of the Me Too thing, but when you, even people who show, they were like, when you take from children, that's
yeah,
just like something that unifies everyone in like, yeah, you're a complete scumbag. Like,
just
there's no nicer word to put it.
yeah. That's what's turned the tides for everyone now. I really do think so. Is that Children's Hospital letter, and that's it.
Oh yeah, I think that's gonna be the nail in the coffin. And I know we've been going on for an hour, and I know you got some stuff to do like sleep. I got off of a third shift. Uh, but I guess you know, in close to kind of get some final thoughts, and then you can tell everybody about your great content. By the way, I got Come Geek some channel in the description. So if you want to go to his channel, check out some videos, I got it in the description. You just click it. I finally figured out how to do that. So yay. But before we go, I want to, and this is kind of a two-part question. One, do you think that he'll get the case overturned in the UK? And then two, do you think that he'll win the case in Virginia?
The London one, I have a lot more hope in it now, just because of what we talked about earlier with the lying under oath. I think they're going to look at that and they're going to be like, right, okay, she's lied. We cannot take her testimony as anything else now. She has lied completely under oath. Again, the Virginia one, at this moment in time, my gut is saying that it's going to be difficult, but I think he will pull out the win at the end, only because of the way Bruce White is being at this moment. He is literally taking no shit from either side, which is great. And obviously, he's like, this is going to happen. You do this, you do that. And all the files that she marked confidential and all the subpoenas and documentation she's been asking all these people and customers and companies for, it's almost like he's like, what the hell are you doing? You know? And I think kind of just shut it down and almost like, No, you're asking for too much stuff, and you're asking for things that is unnecessary to this case. And we can see as well that Laura Bokhoff, she posted today regarding that there's been a few more subpoenas added, and like she's actually going after Disney again. And it's like, well, why is she going after Disney again? They've already said no to her, you know? And that'll be an interesting part. I need to look more into that. But for the Virginia one, I really got my gut telling me at this moment it's going to be very hard and difficult for him. But I think he will win it in the end because the judge is taking no shit. And then in the UK, it's literally going to be. I think we'll probably see a retrial. I really do in the UK, just because she's lied under oath, and her lawyers and NGN's lawyers, they're probably scrambling to try and find out. Right, okay, can they use this against us? Which they can. And obviously, you got the case in Australia where they're still looking into having her because obviously when she lied about Pistol and Boo were dogs, and again she lied under oath there. It's like so far she's lied under oath in 2 countries, so that'll be very interesting to see. How about you? What do you think of it?
I think that, and I've said this before. I served in the military, and I believe strongly in upholding civilian law because when I came back, I've been under situations where you see the military having to go in, so I know the
Hmm.
realities of that. So I believe strongly in the justice system because it is the law that governs you guys and keeps you guys safe. And here's the thing, if you let stuff like this slip up, no matter who it is, it sends a dangerous precedent for everything else in the world. It doesn't matter who it is and how famous they are. The law is the law. And if you let one person slide, then you've got a bunch of civilians going, well, this famous person can get away with this stuff. So why am I being tried? And
That's it.
then this creates dissension. And, we already have civil unrest bullshit
Mm.
going on now.
Oh
The
yes,
last thing we need is to have people who are ignoring evidence and pissing more people off. We need to start getting a hold and upholding the law. Look, my favorite thing to say, and I've said it once, I'll say it again. When you go into any courtroom or any uh, building that has justice, like DA or anything else like that, you'll see
mm.
a statue with a lady holding scales who's blind because
Blind.
the
Yep,
law is
justice is
blind.
blind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we don't uphold that, if we don't overturn this case and Johnny doesn't get justice with all of the evidence that's now the world can see, it will show how broken the system truly is.
One
And that
hundred
is a
percent.
very dangerous. It's dangerous. We've got to uphold the law, not just for Johnny, but for our kids, for the communities, so people can see if you're a victim, you have options. I mean, not just this, but think about those DV victims out there who are like, if Johnny Depp with millions
Yes,
of dollars is getting screwed over, what chance do I have?
that's it.
And that's what it comes down to.
That is 100%. Like say, I said that with the lads yesterday. It's it's horrible for those people to think I'm a victim. If he can't win, what chances have I got? And like you're saying about the effect it has on people, it's basically it's well, it is. It's just going bigger and bigger and bigger. The mushroom cloud that Amber Heard can basically create. So if say she did win, and you got all these people saying, "Well, the evidence is right there. She lied. She's admitted that she is she is a an abuser." Going to give a lot more people thinking, "Huh, I can do this and get away now." We're going to see if this did happen. I hope it doesn't, but you could just see a bigger and bigger cases of DV all the time because they're going to be like, "Oh, well, they let her off, and they're going to let me off, aren't they?" And like say, vice versa with the victim. It's just a sad precedent that is trying to do. And I just can't see how those lawyers can sleep at night trying to get her off.
Oh no, no, me neither. It's
Hmm.
like they have to know on some level, and I can buy they didn't know for a bit, but they do know now. And
Yes.
the fact that you can go on representing someone like that, and look, everyone, even criminals, because of our great system, they deserve a defense.
Mm.
but don't tell me that you're blind to what's going on. If you're a scumbag, own up to it. I'll respect you more. Saul's my
Yeah.
favorite character in Breaking Bad. He owns up to the fact that he's a criminal lawyer who
Yeah.
represents criminals. So I mean, I was quoting that from Bonnie because she watched Breaking Bad too. But it's like you've got to, if you're going to defend someone, then come out with a scumbag statement. I'll respect you more. But don't
Yes.
play like you're innocent. Don't play like you don't know your client is full of crap. At some point, you have to do your own investigation. You knew at some point she was lying and that you
Yes.
had to start maneuvering. So when you screw up, you should take ownership of that and just accept what you are. And, God bless them if they could sleep, because I could not sleep at night knowing I was trying to bury a decent man,
Innocent person. Yeah.
innocent for something he didn't do. If there was doubt, even when you look at, and I reference OJ because that was a big case where he got
Oh, yeah.
away with
It was huge. Yeah. I remember that as a kid. And, like we were saying, is we were kids and that was on TV. Even here in the UK, it was huge.
Oh yeah, biggest case ever. And that was now look, I don't believe that it was right he got away with murder. However, he did later pay for it. But here's the thing that I did believe in. When you look at that case and see what happened with the defense, you can tell that there were some laws that were broken, and whether it's right or wrong, the detectives mishandled evidence. They botched everything. They put a
Oh, God, yeah.
racist cop as a defense. I mean, there were so many missteps. And so by withholding the standards of the law, the people didn't rule in anything that wasn't unjust or within the confinements of the law. So you can almost excuse that. But Amber Heard has literally broken the law in the court by perjury. She's already broken the law. And there needs to be a justice for that. There needs to be a reckoning. And if we don't, then it proves that now in 2021, we've completely lost our way. We let the media control the narrative, and we let people who are guilty destroy innocent people. And that's dangerous. That's bad. That means we're slipping into decline. We've got to get back on track. We got to show that there's still law of the land, and then maybe we can start cleaning it up. And the greatest thing? The
What's that?
greatest thing about this is if Johnny wins these cases, I can't wait to see the media is going to lose their shit because the narrative will be broken. It'll be a beautiful thing. I hope in 2021 brings us the year where we finally break this #MeToo bullshit.
Oh, it is, man. It's such a bad hashtag. Obviously, when it first started, it brought a lot of people together. But then you had people, again, like Amber Heard, but also other people, and they just started abusing it. And that's
Yeah,
one of the sad things. You will always find someone, if there's a good thing happening, someone will always try and make it shit. And they've succeeded.
Yeah, and it's a shame. And I think, I think that's why I also wanted to have you on here, because channels like yours, I want to interview all of them. By the way, guys, a little shameless plug. Next week, I will have the spiritual one here. Spiritually empowerment coach. Yeah, she's going to be stopping by. I'm going to ask her on some tips to not be so angry, because, a villain is always mad. And I need to be calm for my takeover. But but no, I
Just say
can't.
Rusa, you'll be fine.
I'm like Martin Lawrence or Will Smith and Bad Boys. I tried the Wusa and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have her on. I can't wait to get more of you guys on, because my goal is I want to get everyone in this community who's YouTubers like us, because I believe that the more people who know about you guys, the more people we get out there, the stronger it grows. And there's a lot of people that are behind this movement, and the media they can't ignore it anymore.
No.
And the more we grow it, the more we can start seeing justice. Get Amber Heard off some of these projects. Let's get some fair treatment. Let's get her to step down for something.
Yeah. I
Let's
can see
start.
this doing a lot of good for the petitions now as well, because they're going to be like, well, she lied, and obviously got all these people here. Because before they were just like, oh, these people just fucking bots and nuts, And it's like, well, actually, no, we're not nuts. We actually told everyone she was lying, and here's the proof. And I don't think they like it. And like you were saying with the media, and it's sad to see that the media, even back when we were kids, we saw our parents with the paper or whatever, and with them, even my parents growing up, they were like, yeah, it's always been they've always had a hold on news and the media. But for some unknown reason, in the last couple of years, the media has gone to World War II, Germany, Nazi, that level of propaganda. It's crazy. And it's like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
went against all of this years ago, and now you're actually taking tips from him. I don't understand how they do it, and it's just sad to see that the media cannot get away with this. And like you were saying, with seeing how their faces would change if Johnny wins, I can see a lot of them apologizing, but I can see the Hollywood Reporter and the Sun be like, no, I'm not apologizing. He's still a wife beater. That's what I can see the Sun doing. And Dan Wooten will probably just go on a killing spree, knowing him. He's like, oh, that's it. I don't care. I'm going to. And he'll be on his radio show. He'll be telling people wrong directions and all that kind of stuff. And he'll just be there laughing by now, excuse me, laughing manically in his chair. I don't like the guy. I just hate him. And I don't want to see bad things happen to people, but him, I'd make an exception for.
Oh, you see, my equivalent is Jimmy Kimmel. That guy's such a. If you've ever been on my live stream and we've talked about Jimmy Kimmel, I've literally had to censor myself because, like, I'll literally mute myself because I'll just go a long string of curse words because he's another piece of shit who, by the way, got caught up in cancel culture. It was beautiful. I threw a party because I was like, this is a guy who had the show called The Man Show and has the balls to come up and talk about the mistreatment of women. And they started playing back his segment. And I go, you had girls eating sausages. And now you're going to come and tell me you're an advocate for women's. Are you fucking high? Is that what you're doing? You're smoking the shit that you used to smoke back in the day, because there's no way you can say this stuff and not be high. And speaking of, Stone Cold Jeremy, he says, Zod, having your neck snap does tend to put you in a foul mood. I agree. That was the one thing I hated about Man of Steel. I was like,
I wanted him to survive so they could do a sequel, and they'd be like, if something would have happened, and the way I thought it would have happened, again, they just went for Batman. They just wanted to get Batman in it straight away. I think they looked at it and they were like, even though how much did Man of Steel make? Like 700 million, around there?
Yep.
Because it made a pretty penny, and they were in profit with it. But I thought, because when Man of Steel came out, obviously you had the year before, it was The Dark Knight Rises, made over $1 billion. They're like, oh, we need Batman. And I just think they literally just jumped straight over, which could have been a possible fantastic trilogy for Man of Steel, which is what I think he deserves. I really do.
Oh, yeah. And I was saying, they announced they're going R-rated route. Warner Bros. Want to get me back on board. Here, pro tip: make an R-rated General Zod movie. I don't care if it's shit or not. I will see that thing 15 fucking times.
I will see it. I don't care. It'd be awesome. It's set on Krypton. That's what I'd like it to be.
Yep, during the Krypton War. It's a brutal Zod was killing people. I don't know if they had laser guns, whatever. Zod just breaking necks. You make that, and I guarantee you, I will buy every copy in the store. I will boost sales. I will promote on my channel.
The opening to Man of Steel is just phenomenal. I still love it to this day. The opening is just so well done. Again, obviously you had with Marlon Brando in the original, just like, oh, we're going to put a baby in here. Yes, send him off. But with this one, you actually found a little bit of reason behind why they did it, and the action scenes just look spectacular. They did, and I
Oh
remember
yeah,
I saw it in IMAX and I loved it.
oh yeah, I did too. And one thing I can say, I'm not aboard the Snyder Cut, especially with his recent comments
Mhm.
and extending Amber Heard's scene, which we all needed.
Well,
But
say the funny thing about that, he has come out and said he's only filmed 2 brand new scenes. That is it for the film, which comes in, I think it's like 4 minutes.
oh, and
So
I
that'll
feel
be
like we can
interesting
have
to
a
see.
big discussion about that because I'd like to know why
Mm.
you need 70 million, but now it's been quoted as more, apparently, like 100 million, which
Yeah,
is a brand new film. So,
literally.
like Snyder, I don't believe you because 4 scenes doesn't cost $100 million.
Well, maybe that's where Amber Heard, sucked him off. Oh, I need some money. You
Oh
never know.
God,
She got debts to pay. She got debts to pay. That's what's going on.
oh
She got to
God.
give 50 million to Johnny, so that's where it's from.
And it's not
I
going to
shouldn't be,
children's
I shouldn't
hospital.
be shitting on Zack Snyder, to be honest, with you, man, because I'm one of the people who love all his films, apart from Sucker Punch. But Sucker Punch had some good scenes in it. But I shouldn't be bad mouthing Zack Snyder, man. To be honest, I love the guy. Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorite films ever. The remake and the
Oh
original.
yeah, yeah.
The remake is
See,
just again.
he's weird because he's one of those directors that you either really going to like what he does or you're really going to hate it, and there's never a middle ground.
Yeah,
It's
a
the
bit like
weirdest
Tarantino.
thing. Oh yeah, yeah. Tarantino's the same way. Whenever you talk to someone, either they say, "Oh, this was the best movie ever made," or "Tarantino's a hack." I mean,
Yeah,
I've never
literally.
gotten a review in between.
He ripped off this movie. He ripped off that movie. But at the end of the day, every single movie is the same story.
Ripped off from
Um,
someone else.
no doubt about it. If you look at it, when you go back to the, literally like Boy Meets Girl or whatever, or Good versus Evil, that's the oldest story ever, and each film is like it. Unless you're Seinfeld and you just talk about everyday shit and nothing makes sense.
Oh my God,
Uh,
I feel like I gotta have you back on because we could just go on. I feel
oh,
like
definitely.
forever,
We'll say
forever.
next time I come on, we'll say if we could try and do a little bit earlier or whatever, we'll have a longer one and we'll leave out the entire Johnny Depp. So we'll just have a proper fandom kind of thing. Just talk about all
Oh,
the stuff we like.
hey, let's you know what? I got 70 people. Everybody in the chat. If you would like me and Mr. Come Geek Some to do another stream just bullshitting on random fan stuff, movies, things that you like, go ahead and give me a number 1 in the
Yes,
chat. Go ahead, light
do it.
that chat up. Let me know how many people would love to see something like that because I think that
Mm.
that would just be great. Um, and man, I've had such a fun time. And really quick, I'm gonna do another shameless plug here.
Go for it,
Uh,
mate.
I'm
Go
starting to
for it.
sound like official. I hate it. If you guys don't know, very soon I got a Teespring coming up. Now, if my store does good, I'm going to make some T-shirts where I'm going to set up a donation that will go towards a charity that Johnny Depp represents. So I'll make a specific T-shirt. I'll let you know what day it is, and then we can do something to kind of give back to the community because I want to do my own part. Stevie is inspirational for me with doing that, and I would like to also not just profit, but also you know be able to give something back. Because look, everything that you guys give that I make from these, I'm going to use specifically for making this channel better to bring you guys better content because, hey, without you guys, without the fans, me, Mr. Geek here, none of us, we're not on here. We're talking to ourselves.
We
You
wouldn't even be
guys,
here for them unless it was for them.
exactly. You guys make us. And I saw a bunch of ones. So, maybe when we get off, I could talk to you about when you'd like to
Definitely.
do that and we'll have you back on. But thank you everybody for showing up. Mr. Come Geek Some. What awesome revolutionary commentary groundbreaking videos do you have coming out?
Uh, well, tomorrow night it's just a Dead by Daylight stream, which I've had a lot of people ask me about that now because I used to play that a lot on stream, and they're like, "Where is it? Where is it?" And I'm like, "Oh, all right, we'll play a game." So I'm doing that tomorrow. But Friday night, I will be doing my brand new The Come Geek Some show. So I don't want to tell other people, but it's going to be Friday night, 7 p.m. UK time. So that is going to be 2 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern. So,
Oh, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to see that. And I like Dead by Daylight, so I might have to come and check that out. Maybe I'll troll you and be like, no, that's not how you do
do
it.
it.
Why aren't you
Do it.
kicking the block? Jimmy Gorgon.
Oh, that game gets me so wound up. It's unbelievable. But people like to see me get scared. Oh man,
Oh
I
man.
got so many, so many people. They just love like it's when before when I was just doing live streams first, it would be like normally half hour to an hour of talk about Johnny Depp and everything else. This is before obviously all the shit happened from November onwards, and it would be there like 2 hours of Dead by Daylight, and it'd be either that we played like The Haunting, we played so many scary horror games, and everyone's just like, "Oh, I love watching you jump," and I'm like, "Wow, thank you." You know, what if I had a heart attack on screen, and I'd be like, I'm just there dead? They're gonna be like, "Oh, what's he doing? Oh, is he? Oh, is he scared? Is he? Or is it frozen or something like that? Like, you know?" And I'm like, "No, I'm dead."
Oh man, dude, I can't wait. And yeah, I'll definitely have you back on. If you guys don't know, next week, I believe I said Monday or Tuesday. I'll let you guys know because I got the DM. But spiritually empowerment coaching is going to be on
Yeah,
here. I'm going
Leslie.
to
Everyone loves Les.
I can't wait. I'm going to get some tips and tricks for calming down and controlling this anger I've got towards the media. It'll be great. And also, I got my normal late night talks. Now, if you guys haven't been on Friday, me and Mr. Pop Culture PB pick articles and we make fun of them. It's kind of like a Johnny Carson hour where we just make fun of stupidly written articles that point out stupid things. Like I think we're gonna do Cobra Kai today or this Friday and talk about how they're saying it's too white because that's the most ridiculous thing I ever
Yeah.
heard. Um, like there's literally like one of the main Cobra Kai people is Asian and they're talking about how they're whitewashing the show. So I can't wait to get Pop Culture PB. He goes on rants and just some more stuff on that. And Saturday, me and Father's Odd do a stream where we do some interviews and things like that. We're gonna be talking about some fun stuff. One night we did something on actual UFO sightings, like it's getting to a point where people can legitimately get good pictures because technology. So now we broke down how it's getting harder for the government to cover it up. They can't just say it's a hot weather balloon anymore. There's like
Oh,
actual photographs.
I hate what I say the last because when as like obviously the iPhone has had great cameras now for what 4 or 5 years around
Yep.
there, and you still see like a photo or a film taken last year, 2020 or even 2019, and it looks like it was filmed with a potato. You're just thinking like how? And you could see out there, oh look at this, and it's like yeah, you can when it's grainy and all that, that just really pisses me off because I'm literally like, if that's what it's like, look for someone in your area who's got a good fucking camera phone and take it. And to be honest with the iPhone 5, so my dad's on the 5 still, and that's years old, and he can take great photos on that. And I'm like, if he can do it on that, and that is a potato, then it's like, right, okay, then, anyone could take a great photo. And like you're saying, the technology is there now. And I just want them to come down and be like, yeah, you're all fighting each other. You're dumb. We're going. Because that's what I think I'll see now. They were like, yeah, we don't like you because we've been up there watching you, evaluating you. You've all failed. And like, failed what? Failed what? Failed at life. Just because everyone's fighting and hating each other.
Oh my God, if they were up there and then they're even just following this Johnny Depp case, could you imagine
Oh,
like Well, we were gonna advance you guys, but you have Amber Heard, so
Yeah. They're just there, they're looking down at them or the camera or whatever, or however they're watching this, and they're just like, check what these fucking idiots are doing again. Now have a look at this. You know, I don't know what would they call each other. You know, Trevor. I don't know. I don't know. Like Trevor and Noel. I don't know why. Like, oh, Trev, come and see what they're doing again. And you know, they'll look and they'll just start laughing, like in Scary Movie 3, when she puts the knife into the door and they're laughing.
Oh,
It's just like, oh, look at these fucking idiots. Oh,
oh man. But thank you everybody for watching. We really appreciate it.
yeah, it's been
And
amazing having you all here. It's been great.
oh yeah, and you know, we got the one, so we're gonna it looks like I'm gonna have to
Definitely.
have you back on. We're gonna have to shoot a shit about some you know, some fun nerd stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just have a great time with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this has been a great time. Awesome to get to know more about your channel.
Mm,
I think we covered a wide variety of things, and
tonight.
I look
Yeah.
forward to the next time. And everybody, I will be hopefully by the time I go live again, I'll have some information on my website that's out. I also created a web page so that you know I can get my best videos and kind of put them on there. And you know, I'm trying to, I guess, trying to be official. You know, I'm trying to get some kind of organization going on. So
It takes some
thank you
time,
for.
trust me.
So, as always, remember the only rule here in the fandom zone. I wish I had my better banners better coordinated. Here we go. Kneel before Zod.
The darkness before we never quite thought we could lose.